Welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where we continue to bring you live and exclusive coverage events here at Fujitsu Forum 2019. This morning, we made a promise to bring you an insight-led approach to the channel, didn't we? Where we're going to be exploring the very problems impacting business and society, and looking at the technology that not only addresses those issues, but unlocks value from it. Last year, so viewers may recall, we were talking to Frederik, who heads up the BlockChain Innovation Center here at Fujitsu. He was joined by Dr. Joseph Rieger ahead of his BlockChain keynote. One of the topics we explored 12 months ago was, could blockchain have far wider ranging possibilities beyond financial services? And the general consensus was, absolutely. I am chuffed to say, not only is Frederik back to talk to us, but he's brought with him Stephen Edkins, CEO of the Rice Exchange. You chaps have got a cracking example of how what you said 12 months ago has proven right.
Yes, it has been a success. And actually it started about 12 months ago when we first, Stephen and I, we met. And we started talking about what are the possibilities of working together. The project was not right at that moment in time, so we reconnected in August, and 4 days later we started working on the project. So we started with an assessment of what we could do together, and built actually now together in a sprint and a scrum mode a digital platform to manage the rice trade. And Stephen can of course explain much more in detail what this rice trade is about, but it has been an adventure for ourselves, also to the discovery of what are the possibilities of this platform, and bringing us to much more closer to really bringing societal change and making an environment that is trust heavy. From the technology perspective.
Stephen, for the benefit of the viewers, I mean, I read the material sent to me ahead of the interview with genuine interest. I mean, it absolutely captivated me. For the benefit of the viewers, can you outline what the problem in the industry was and what you're now looking to achieve for a whole host of customers already, amazingly? Absolutely.
So you have a very, very large trade involving a large number of participants between number of destinations, number of origins. You have different stakeholders in terms of not just buyers and sellers, but you have insurance companies, you have inspection companies, you have shipping lines, and you have banks. And really the problem is, how do you get them all to talk to each other in a trusted manner where business can be conducted smoothly? Because right now it's not. And the consequence of that is higher prices are paid by consumers, and less money is received by producers of the rice. And it's not because people are making big profits in the middle. In fact, profits are very low, but there's a lot of deadweight cost.
I truly didn't appreciate just how big the industry is. So, as I understand it, it's a $450 billion industry, but you were talking off camera about the size of people involved within rice production. Can you just sort of explain a little bit more about that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we reckon that it's the biggest employer in the world. Almost 1 billion people depend on their livelihood from growing rice. There are about 150 million smallholder farmers, and then you add in their families, obviously you get to almost 1 billion. On the other side of the equation, it's a staple diet for over half of the world's population. So you think about the number of people that Rice Exchange is going to touch. If we're successful in eliminating some of these excess costs, the ultimate beneficiaries are going to be the people at the beginning of the chain and the people at the end of the chain.
And I guess, for people that aren't necessarily close enough to blockchain, just help us understand how blockchain specifically is going to benefit all of those people that you've spoken about. I mean, I know you touched on it there, but...
So the biggest issue right now is when rice is traded and then it needs to be transported from one point to the other, there are a number of different points where you need to have trusted data in order for that to be settled smoothly. You need to know that the rice that you bought is exactly the rice that's being loaded onto the ship or the container. And the insurance company needs to trust also that the rice is in good condition. The shipping line needs to provide the right information about how that rice is being transported. And that's the only way that that settlement can go smoothly. So in a situation when you have so many different parties talking to each other, only really if they can trust in the data will that trade be settled smoothly. And that's where we believe blockchain is really, really going to make a difference, because it's going to provide that glue which allows for those parties to talk to each other and to be able to trade over time, creating reputations which allow for best performance.
When are you expecting to see this online go into market?
We're literally weeks away. We have an expectation around a launch date in January. We're going to start with a select number of buyers and sellers, people that we know well, but we already have over 400 participants waiting to join the platform. So we're hoping to scale that up pretty quickly to keep everybody happy.
Frederik, there's been a bit of skepticism around blockchain for quite a while. Examples like this, surely that's going to help people have more faith in the technology?
Yeah. So that's one of the points we try to do as the center and as Fujitsu, is to really look at customers and not so much at the cynics, because everybody's a critic and everybody has a way of telling this. It's just a problem. You look at the problem, is it a viable solution? Fine, you need to prove the identity, it's about data, it's about transparency, trust, and we have been able to prove that within the platform. We try to automate as much as we can, and of course, all these traders, these insurers, their shipment companies can trust the data they're working with and have also the evidence. And whether it's then a real proof, could you have solved it in a different way? Probably, but we had the opportunity to work with the best possible technology at this point in time. And of course, these technologies will evolve. As we stated already last year, technology doesn't stand still. So I do understand there's a lot of cynicism, yeah, fine, but maybe they should come talk to us and we can help them find solutions.
I love that. Brings me on to the next perfect question. So 12 months ago, I asked you to make a prediction about what we were going to see. What's next? What's around the corner? What else is going to be hitting industry?
One of the things I wrote is a blog on what are the top predictions for 2019. Some of that is still related to the classical implementation, the adoption, and I think still the message from Fujitsu is that we can already implement today benefits from this technology, bring them to customers, and the future will of course bring some of the conversions of technologies. We see permissionless and permission blockchains coming much more closer together. For example, Ethereum is now also joining Hyperledger consortiums. So we see that conversions of technology, there are going to be means of integrating several blockchains with existing technology. So there is a future for this technology, but maybe it should be obscure for the end user. The end user shouldn't mind whether it's a blockchain or something else behind. It's a solution for a problem. So basically the future could even be just platform as a service where you bring these kind of services to customers and they can start using these platforms. So in essence, I think the future is still bright, and I think it's already today that we can start using this technology and keep on using it.
Well, as the lights go out on the plasma, I hope the lights haven't gone out with viewers, because this has been one of our more interesting interviews this afternoon. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm so pleased you came and shared this story with us. I dare say there's going to be some questions. Hashtag Fujitsu Forum TV is where you can place them. And if you want to get connected with Stephen to understand more about the great story behind the Rice Exchange, we'll facilitate an introduction. Again, thank you both for coming and chatting to us. There is plenty more still to come from Fujitsu Forum TV this afternoon. Next, we're back talking to the co-creation team, and we're actually exploring the UN Development Goals. There's a number that Fujitsu are committed to helping address. We'll be spilling the beans on what that is, what the missions are, and why it's so important in today's society. Stick with us for that one. What's it time? We'll be back live at 4 p.m. with that one. Plenty more still to come from Munich. Stay with us.